Have you ever looked at your bank account or your revenue numbers or your QuickBooks and wonder, where did all the money go? Because you see that you made this much money for the month, but at the end you're wondering, where did it all go? Did you know that many women entrepreneurs who are doing really, really well in terms of revenue don't get to keep 30% or more of their profit, meaning they keep less than that? Today, I'll show you the 3 biggest money leaks that is draining your profit and how you can plug them back in so you can start enjoying a healthy profit again. Welcome to the CEO of You playlist. I'm Dr. Lauretta Justin, and I help entrepreneurs in healthcare build profitable businesses without burnout. If this is your first time, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. Remember to click on the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. If you're one of my returning divas and divos, thank you so much for coming back. I'm so glad you're here. I'll tell you guys a story. A few years ago, my practice was doing really well. We were nearing 7-figure in terms of revenue, which sounds amazing, right? But you know, revenue does not equal money. And I would look at my statements, my financial statements, and wonder, at least when I started learning to look at my financial statements, I used to wonder, where did all that money go? How do you generate so much money and have so little left? What bothered me is that my take home did not represent the amount of energy, the stress, and the workload that I have. My husband and I used to make jokes thinking we got a bucket that just have leaks and everything, money's just leaking out. And we did have a lot of leaks in our businesses at the time. No matter how much came in, just as much kept going out. The wake-up call actually came in when I started to learn how to read my financial statements and the 3 fundamental financial statements that you need to know as a business owner. I started to learn how to read them, and I started to understand the story it was telling me about the decisions I was making. And those decisions were creating the leaks that was causing my net revenue to be so low. And the thing is, if what I'm saying resonates with you, I just want you to know you're not alone. What was happening to me is happening to many women entrepreneurs in healthcare who have businesses like myself. A lot of us are experiencing the same thing I was experiencing back then. That's why today I'm going to share with you the 3 most common leaks that can drain your business and how you can plug them back in so you can start enjoying your profits again, or for the first time. All right, are you ready for leak number 1? Not paying yourself first. Not paying yourself first is the first leak that is draining your profits. When you pay everybody else and you don't put yourself first, it can cause you to sometimes feel resentful, and it can cause you to feel discouraged. It can kind of suck away your enthusiasm for your business because there's not a lot of reward left for you. And you did not build a business, so you're not rewarded. So not paying yourself first is the number 1 leak that can cause your business to not be profitable. So how do we fix it? You got to flip the script. Pay yourself first. In my CEO of You framework, I teach business owners to set aside 30% of their revenue for themselves first before they pay anything else. Because when you start paying yourself first, you're telling yourself that you're valuing the contribution that you're bringing to the business. Because if we hired somebody else to do the job that we do, we would have to pay them. So paying yourself first is you telling yourself that you value what you bring into the business. And guess what? Your team in the business is going to start valuing you in return. So in my CEO of You framework, the very first thing I tell everybody to do is pay yourself first. Set aside 30% of your gross revenue for yourself. The second leak that you have that's draining away your profits is overspending on non-essentials. Basically, the wrong things. Like once I had I think 5 different subscriptions to 5 different companies that all did the same thing. I didn't know. I just signed up for it, and then I was spending money. And sometimes it may not look like a lot. It may look like it's only $30 a month, but when you multiply that by 12, that is actually what, $120 a month? Am I doing that math right? Oh, it's $360 per month. I want to invite you to look at your expenses, and at least just once pull out your bank records and look at your expenses and really ask yourself, do you need all these things? That is one of the areas that really I had to learn in my business. There was a lot that I had that I did not need. Some of it was just because of habit. Some of it was just because it's an industry norm. Everybody else is doing it, so I'm doing it too. Another big one was payroll. I had a lot of employees, and frankly, I didn't need all of them. So I was overspending on the wrong thing, and it was leaking my profits. Is that happening to you? So what is the fix? Do an expense audit. Review everything you spend your money on. And I would say definitely do it quarterly and make sure if you're spending your money on things you really need to have to operate your business. Cancel what you don't need, cut the fluff, renegotiate contracts to lower rates. Whatever it takes to reduce expenses, do it, because the more expenses you can reduce, the more money you can either reinvest into the business or take for yourself as a CEO. So number 2 is overspending on the wrong things. Number 1 is not paying yourself first. So now let's go to number 3. Number 3 is underpricing your services. Ooh, that's a big one. Now, I am in eye care, so I am an eye doctor, and that's a big challenge for us optometrists when we're trying to price our services, because there's so much competition in our industry. I don't know what industry you're in and what the competitive landscape look like, but in eye care, that is a big thing for us. I remembered once a patient said to me, "Wow, Dr. Lauretta, this was the most comprehensive exam I've ever received, and it was only for this much? Wow, that was such a great deal." In the one hand, I was flattered by the compliment, but in the other hand, it kind of stabbed me a little bit, because how do you provide one of the best comprehensive exams and at the same time charge the lowest possible price? That was not going to be sustainable. It's not something that I would ever be able to sustain, and I couldn't. Many women CEOs in healthcare set their prices based on fear, or we're afraid that we may be perceived as being too expensive. Sometimes we look at the competitors and we don't want to be higher than them because we don't want to be judged as being too expensive. We don't want patients to walk away, or we want as many patients to come as possible. Those always set you up for burnout, and it sets you up for disappointment, because ultimately, once you begin to understand the value of your expertise and the service you bring, what you bring to the table to your patients, and you price it appropriately based on what you bring, the right patients will pay every day, all day. Trust me. So what do you do when you're not sure how to price? There are many formulas that I teach in my CEO of You framework for you to help you figure out how to price. But for the purpose of this video, I can tell you, focus on value and base your pricing on the value you bring to the market, the value you bring to your patients. Do you go the extra miles? Do you do extra little things? And those extra little things create value. I'll give you an example. I have been to my dentist, and after my dentist would clean your teeth, they would put a warm towel over your mouth. That's extra value. Let me tell you, I'd pay extra to get that warm towel. So what value do you bring? And let that be the deciding factor for how much you charge for your services. When you decide to pay what you believe your expertise is worth, now pay attention. I don't ever say pay when you charge what you're worth, because your worth is priceless. No one can ever pay for that. But your expertise and the value you bring to the marketplace does have a monetary value. When you price it properly, it makes you feel good about yourself. And frankly, your patients appreciate paying more to receive the value that you receive. So trust me, look at your prices and go back and see, are you undercutting yourself? If you are, raise your prices and charge what your expertise is worth, what's going to make you feel confident, and what's going to make you want to go back then again on Monday morning. The one thing to understand about profit leaks is not always about numbers. It's really about identity. It's about who you believe you are and what you believe you deserve. You got to determine who you are. You ever heard the formula be, do, have? You got to determine who you are. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the practice owner who gives everything to everybody else and have nothing in return and only end up being resentful, disappointed, and no profit? Or do you want to be the practice owner that gives the absolute best value and get the absolute most reward for their value, who is proud to come to work, who's so filled with passion to do their job because they get rewarded? Who do you want to be? And that will determine how much leaks you have in your profit. The good news is you can change that. You can choose to be whoever you want to be. So I encourage you to decide to be the CEO of you and become a visionary leader. Don't be a firefighter. If you're ready to stop profit leaks, your first step is awareness. That's why I created the Burnout Audit. It shows you where your time, energy, and money are leaking right now so you can fix them. Download it today. It's completely free at ceoofyou.com, or you can go in the comment section, the description section, and you'll find the link there as well. Download it today. Go through the audit. It will show you where leaks are happening in your business. If you enjoyed this episode, give it a thumbs up, share it with other entrepreneurs you think could benefit from it. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss another episode. Remember, you have the power to change your life. My mission is to not just help you build a successful business, but one that you really enjoy. Until next time, never forget, you deserve a business that gives you significant profit, that helps you create lasting impact, and gives you limitless profit. See you next time.